Hurricane, a tidal wave, essence perfect, life looks brilliant, give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You're firing me, yeah, you're firing me, You've got me hypnotized, push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. Whoa, I can think, I can hear, going crazy for the light. It's got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized.
You're watching OLE, and this is a Dijack Hijack.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Marvel Talk. I am Ed Fries, and I am joined by my tag team partner, the one and only Andre Soup Lord. Soup Lord, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing phenomenal, sir. Just watched an incredible episode of AEW Dynamite, and now I'm here to talk some not talking perfect, right? I'm here to talk some Marvel with you. I'm going to talk some Marvel with you. My brain does not work.
We were in the pre-show chat talking professional wrestling, and you were very
That's
angry.
why I'm confused.
Pro Bobby Lund says, hello, guys. How goes the evening? Andre's better than I do. I had to suffer through 30 minutes of AEW Dynamite, so, it is what it is.
You didn't have to do that. You know that, right? You didn't have to.
I have to know when it ends so I know when we start.
When I jump into the room.
AEW could use all the ratings help it can get right. But we're not here to talk about AEW and its ratings. We're here to talk about Marvel. More importantly, we're here to talk about the 2014 Marvel film 10 years ago. I believe 10 years ago this week. Almost. 10 years ago in a month from now. Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 1.
When in July?
July 21st.
Oh, shit. Deadpool opens a week after that.
It orders 5 days.
Really close. That's really close.
It's a 5-day window. It's
Wow.
It's literally the difference in years. It's the only thing it is. It's the difference in years.
Deadpool and Wolverine celebrating Guardians of the Galaxy's 10-year anniversary. That's pretty awesome.
It will be one of the most fun Marvel movies since Guardians of the Galaxy. Because let's be honest, there's very little to hate in Guardians of the Galaxy.
I just don't know how you say
it's one of the funniest
fun movies. Like Thor Ragnarok.
Yes, but there's not a lot of comedies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Ant-Man
Thunder.
Movie, Thor Love and Thunder is a comedy for entirely all the wrong reasons.
Anyway, I love that movie. You guys are wrong.
Anyways, we're here for Guardians of the Galaxy. Easily one of the best Marvel movies they've ever produced. I know
100%.
It will continue to fall down the list as we go on. However, that is not to say anything about the quality of this movie. This movie, when it came out, was perfection. There are very few things that are wrong with this movie in a nutshell.
Yeah.
I watched this movie. I'm happy. I'm sad for the first 5 minutes, and then I'm happy the rest of the way.
Not that much sad in the first 5 minutes. What are you talking about?
Watching his mom die of cancer. Oh, that's tough, man.
I'm joking. That scene resonates so much more with me in these last couple of years.
Yeah.
Since losing my father. So, and watching essentially that happen. And yeah. That scene hits me way harder than it used to. Yeah,
but it's the great emotional beginning that tells the story of the comedy that we get going forth. We can't talk about Guardians of the Galaxy. We're not talking about James Gunn. Because
King Gunn.
Whoa. James Gunn did a lot of things in Marvel. We talked last time when we had Lauren on the show. We talked about how a director makes something special sometimes. How the Russos made Captain America feel special again.
Yeah.
This was Marvel's biggest swing by leaps and bounds to this point. Because everything else that Marvel has done, at least in the comics, were starring roles in the comics. Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, even Thor. Thor was a special comic before. Not many people knew who, generalized people didn't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were.
I'll even admit my history with these guys was very minuscule before they announced the movie. Once they announced the movie, I went back and again, I didn't really read the old Guardians, which applies more to Guardians 2. But I started like the War of the Kings run and stuff like that. Like essentially they resurfaced and it was like 2008 as the team that we see now in the movies. And again, that's where I started reading. I started reading that stuff, and there's some really good stuff, but it's very different it doesn't have the levity that movies have.
And that's the difference between writing a comic book, which is what it is, and then having James Gunn produce a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And James Gunn not only being a director but being a writer.
Scooby-Doo 1 and 2, baby.
Yeah, but James Gunn has a way of doing things that is different than anybody else in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He is heavily involved in the writing process of the movies he produces, which is why he's now been given the keys to the kingdom when it comes to the new DCEU.
Mm-hmm.
And while I'm not on board with his decisions for Superman, I'm still excited to be there opening weekend.
Nathan Fillion's going to be a great Green Lantern.
I didn't say anything about the Green Lantern. I specifically mentioned
in the Superman movie. Fillion's going to be playing a Green Lantern in the Superman movie.
Yes, and that's the least of my problems with the Superman movie. Mostly my problem with the Superman movie is Superman. But again, we're not here to talk about that. I don't like the choice for the actor for Superman. He does not feel Clark Kent to me. I've seen the pictures. I don't like it.
He looks so similar to Cavill.
If I squint real hard, maybe.
Look at the pictures that just dropped. He looks almost identical to Cavill as Clark Kent.
We'll see.
Yeah,
but James Gunn isn't the only name to come from this after the fact, because a lot of these people had done some stuff before and will do more things afterwards. Chris Pratt, obviously, Parks and Rec. He's done stuff before.
I'm thinking Chris Evans. Sorry, my brain I Chris'd out there. What the fuck just happened?
You did Chris out there. Chris Pratt, if I remember correctly, is Parks and Rec, right?
Yeah, Parks and Rec. That show's amazing.
And he's great in that, but he wasn't a superstar at this point. Like, he's not the Chris Pratt that he is now when he took this role.
This movie launched him into stardom. Like it's beautiful what it did for his career.
Parks and Rec were the stepping stones, and this was what launched him from he's a really funny actor to he's a leading man.
Well, and again, it's Parks and Rec showed James Gunn. This dude can be funny and he just can play. He has the right charisma for it.
Yeah, and remember, he put a lot of work into his physique to become this character.
Well, you see the shift. You see the shift on the show too. Yeah,
because he changed a lot from what he was before. But I mean, his work pre 2014, Strangers with Candy, Walk the Talk, Wanted, Bride Wars, Jennifer's Body, Take Me Home Tonight, Moneyball.
Okay,
I love Moneyball.
Okay, Take Me Home Tonight is a great stupid comedy.
I agree. I love Moneyball. I think Moneyball is a fantastic movie. I love Moneyball. I'm a huge baseball guy.
Is he a pitcher that he plays? Oh,
Zero.
No, it was a catcher.
Catcher.
He played a catcher.
Yeah, he was the catcher.
Yeah.
The 5-Year Engagement, Zero Dark 30, Her, Movie 43. Like, he'd done some stuff, but 2014 was his year because not only is he Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy, he's Emmett in the Lego Movie.
Yep, Emmett, baby.
And that's the beginning of it, because then it's Jurassic World, Gem and the Holograms, The Magnificent Seven, Guardians 2, Infinity War, Jurassic World 2, Emmett's Holiday Party, The Lego Movie 2, Avengers Endgame, Onward, Jurassic World Dominion, Love and Thunder, the Super Mario Brothers movie, Guardians 3, the Garfield movie. Like, he goes off after this point.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, again, like it's an evolution in a guy who is absolutely awesome, because like you see it when he was on Parks and Rec, and when you watch him in those movies from before, you see him in really good quality, not the greatest stuff in the world, but really good. Like, he's a quality funny guy in a lot, like the funny buddy, the funny secondary character in a lot of those movies.
Yeah.
And he just, I know, I really, when they announced him, I'm like, okay, Parks and Rec, okay, let's see. I'm like, and my brain, when they announced him to play him, I'm like, is this gonna be funny? That's all I can think.
When they announced this cast, I was like, oh, so it's gonna be a funny movie, right?
Well, when you hear Pratt, you hear like, really,
Bradley
Pratt's
Cooper,
not really that funny. He's more the straight man,
and
he's more the straight man in the Hangover series.
True, but
that funny. It's people around him that are funny. Vin Diesel is not funny at all. Come on, let's go through the cast. Yeah,
Zoe Saldana. This was their leading lady. This was their we're gonna spend some money. We're gonna get somebody.
From my favorite comic book movie of all time, The Losers.
Yep.
Yes.
She's in The Losers. Death at a Funeral. Guess Who?
So good.
The Guess Who remake with Ashton Kutcher. Star Trek.
Horrible.
The new Star Trek series, playing Lieutenant Uhura from the Star Trek series. Like, this was, they knew what they were getting when they went ahead and got her.
To anybody that has not seen Death at a Funeral, go out. You can find it online. It is so freaking funny. Oh, so good.
She also starred next to Britney Spears in Crossroads. We can't forget that.
There was a Britney Spears movie?
Yeah, Crossroads. When she released their second album, they had a movie. Oh yeah. 2002. It's bad. It's real bad. Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. She's in Amara from that movie.
Wow. Drumline,
yeah.
I love that movie.
Like I said, she was not a pick that was made just to get a name on. She was the name. She's the name who's going to lead this along with a couple other people.
And Avatar too, I guess.
She hadn't done Avatar yet, had she?
Dude, that movie came out in 2010.
Did it really? I didn't.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I honestly, when I was looking over her thing, I didn't even see it on the list. I was like, I thought she was in Avatar, but I didn't see it on the list.
2010, dude.
It's 2009, by the way. It's 2009.
2010.
It's listed on 29. 2009.
I thought it was 2010. I really
released in December of 2009.
Okay, that's why I think it's 2010, because that's when the movie really took over the world. God damn it! I still hate that movie. It's so
let's go back to our wrestling roots here. The Animal, Dave Bautista.
Dude, WWE is the dumbest people in the world, because this man literally came back to television right before this movie came out, and they didn't promote it at all.
Nothing. Not a bit. Not a bit. Vince was mad. Vince was mad that he was trying to be a bigger star outside of the world of wrestling. Vince had plans for him, and he wanted to go be a Hollywood star.
And he made the right goddamn
Vince
choice.
Is wrong. Vince is wrong. I get it. I'll admit it. Vince is wrong. They should have promoted the movie. It would have been great.
Mm-hmm.
Bradley Cooper, obviously the Hangover series, name guy, great actor, does a great job as Rocket Raccoon. No complaints.
Again, this was another name like Zoe Saldana, who was very big at the time, helped sell but this again a character who's you're never going to see on screen. You're just going to hear them. And when I hear Rocket, I don't hear Bradley Cooper because the way he adjusts his voice to do Rocket's voice, I don't associate like.
Hello, Teddy Hart.
Hello, everybody.
From one of our friends.
Hello.
Read from one of our friends. Let me go and on the back end of Twitch and find out whomst has rated us. But no, Bradley Cooper does a bunch of stuff before this, and of course we can't forget Mr. Vin Diesel, who says 3 words in this entire movie. He says 3 words. I am in
Groot.
I am Groot. And I see Noel taken, so I'm going to assume, I'm just loading up the back end of Twitch here, and I'm going to assume that it's a Get the Tables raid. And it is. Thank you, Tony, from Get the Tables. I greatly appreciate it. Hope you guys all enjoyed AEW Dynamite tonight. I know this guy did.
I did.
We had a bunch of fun. And
remember, I missed the first half hour, but
we got you covered this weekend. We now can confirm 10 p.m. Saturday night. This guy, Andre C., is going to be hosting a preview show. We have some people lined up, but we're going to make sure we get everybody confirmed definite before we start announcing names. But Andre
if I'm by myself, I'll show up and talk about it anyways.
And then we are going to be here Sunday night for a post show. Again, lineup to be determined, but I know Andre is going to attempt to be here after he makes the round trip from where he's watching the show.
Casa de Melball. But it'll be. I got about 20-25 minute drive in between, so I should miss maybe the pre-show stuff. So, yeah.
But we are here tonight with our Marvel Talk episodes, where we're going ahead and we're recapping and re-reviewing and talking about the MCU Rebound of Guardians of the Galaxy, 2014 smash hit. This is mostly something that we can continue to talk about Marvel while we wait for something new. We know July 26th, we're getting Deadpool and Wolverine. We've got 2 special guests. We've got Cameron Hawkins from The Ringer, from all kinds of great stuff from Twitter. Seahawk from Twitter. If you've ever seen that, that's what we got coming on. We've also got our good friend Mark Talks Wrestling jumping on here to go ahead and talk about Deadpool and Wolverine with us. That will be opening weekend. We will have that show either Saturday or Sunday, depending on when people are seeing the show and when people are available. We will let you know more about that.
I'm going Thursday night, baby.
But we're here, like I said, we're talking about the cast right now from Guardians of the Galaxy. Vin Diesel. I mean, he was the biggest name they got for this movie, and he says 3 words in the entire movie. 4. I'm sorry.
No, I just don't know. My part is he the biggest person they got for this movie? In my opinion, it's Zoe Saldana, but he's at her level. Don't get me wrong.
I will counter with the things that Vin had done before this: Iron Giant, Saving Private Ryan, Pitch Black, Fast and the Furious, Knockaround Guys, Triple X.
I don't argue any of that.
The Chronicles of Riddick and the Chronicles of Riddick Dark Fury. The Pacifier. Fast 5, Fast 6. He'd done more Riddick stuff. Like, he was a massive name at this point. No matter what you think of the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Oh, I love that franchise. Don't get me wrong. I just feel at this point in time, Saldana was in Star Trek and just had done Avatar, which is the biggest movie in the world. I just feel like, don't get me wrong, they're both At the top,
She did
they're
not.
both.
Lucy,
Maybe she'll be in Fast X1. I don't know.
Fast
11.
X2. Fast
No,
2.
Fast.
X Part 2 is coming out next, but that's.
I'm just calling it Fast X1, just to be. Sorry, Fast XI, whatever.
But no, last I know, I don't. No, she was never in any of the Fast and the Furious movies.
They call it Fast Z, but it's XI, Fast Z.
All right. Of course, we have Karen Gillan, Dom Juhanju, Glenn Close, John C. Reilly, Benicio del Toro, Michael Rooker.
Okay, we have to pause on Michael Rooker for a second because I love this man. Literally, when I was about 15 or 16 years old is when I discovered the Kevin Smith universe and him as Mr. Svenning. And I have loved that man ever since that day when I saw him as Mr. Svenning.
Yeah, no, I love Michael Rooker. Again, Michael Rooker's in this movie because he's friends with James Gunn. That's it. That is the reason he got the part. Same thing with Nathan Fillion. Same thing with Sean Gunn. I love them. They all do fantastic work in these movies. But
Nathan Fillion's in this?
Yeah, he's an uncredited. He's one of the people in the prison.
Oh, because I know he's in the second one.
He's in all three.
Is he?
He's in all three.
Who's he in the third one?
He's the security guard on the brain planet.
Okay, I'm getting 2 and 3 confused because I don't like 2 and I always skip it because I don't like that movie.
No, he's in all three. Again, okay. It's James Gunn hiring his friends and getting his friends work.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it. They're fantastic actors. They all do the job, and I'm sure they did the job for cheap to work with James Gunn and to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
But there's a name that I want to talk about that I feel nobody in the MCU has been done dirtier with the exception of the first roadie, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. Terrence Howard. Yeah, Terrence Howard. No man has been done dirtier by the Marvel Cinematic Universe than Lee Pace. Ronan the Accuser. Ronan the Accuser should have been an epic villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yes, Terrence did himself dirty, but Disney didn't help Matt. I mean, Marvel didn't help matters at the time. They're not Disney at the time, so we can't blame Disney. I agree.
But Ronan. I
love Ronan. I think Ronan is an epic villain. I think there was way more.
He's a good villain in the comics and cartoons. Lee Pace does a barely serviceable job. My biggest problem with this movie is Ronan the Accuser. That is my only issue with this movie.
Is Ronan the Accuser, but I think we're on two different ends of the spectrum. I think the biggest problem with this movie is that Ronan the Accuser isn't done well enough, and you think that Lee Pace didn't bring Ronan to life well enough.
Yes, he's not done well enough because Lee doesn't do he does a just serviceable enough general Marvel villain job.
I think had the script been better for the villain, that he could have done a much better job.
It should have just been Sam Rockwell in the costume playing Ronan than the Accuser.
I mean, I'll never argue with Sam Rockwell, but Sam Rockwell has his own. Disney has its own issues with needing to bring Sam Rockwell back.
They could have done. You could have done in the dance off because Sam Rockwell is an incredible dancer. That would have been perfect for the dance off.
Yes. I mean,
I don't know. I find him so bland and boring. And yes, the script for his stuff is not great. I will not argue. He's not written well, but a good actor can take a poorly written role and still make it great. Where Lee Pace took it and made it serviceable. That's my issue because I've seen a lot of people take badly written roles and make great things out of it.
No, I agree.
Which to me is a failure on Gunn and how he wrote him, and it's a failure in place for how he played him. So again, I find both sides failed the character. Don't get me wrong.
I concede that. I think that there's Ronan. When we first meet Ronan, and he's got the blue blood just draining down his face, and he comes in with the hammer, the judging hammer, and he's explaining that he's not the Kree. He's no longer Kree. He's just doing what he needs to do, and he's going to rid Xandar. He's got that epic villain monologue there, and it's great.
Dude, I find it so boring.
Oh, I love it.
I sit there and I go, shut the fuck up and get to the fun stuff. Like, especially now, having seen it like 3 million times.
Yeah.
I find, and even when I first saw this movie, I was just like, all right, this guy, I'm like, he has a bit of potential. And then every time you see him, he just is less and less inspiring every time you see him. I don't know. It's my issue with the movie.
I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I just feel like there was so much to have with Ronan. They kind of just did such a poor job. And I think, and I'll agree, Lee didn't bring every moment that he had to life. And maybe that's a problem for him. The scene where he tells Thanos that he's going to get the Power Stone and then he's coming for Thanos. I love that. I love that moment where Thanos is finally like, okay, I'm done with you, child. But Thanos literally calling him child, we learned right then and there that he wasn't going to be an important villain. When he's meeting with the other and Thanos, and he kills the other. And he's like, Thanos, I want you to deal with me. And he's like, child, please. I only deal with adult threats, and you aren't even that. And I'm just like, oh, all right.
Yeah, the writing failed him, but again, him emoting, everything is just so boring and bland. He has no emotion. Again, I know he understands he's a warrior, but it's like, you don't have to be boring, a boring, bland, tough guy. You can have expression. You can have, and again, it's another failure for James Gunn for not directing him in a certain way. But an actor should be able to put a stamp on things, and I find him bland.
Yeah,
he's probably he's pretty low. Like, I like Whiplash better as a bad guy. Like, at least he was charismatic and fun in a way. Yeah. Like, I still put this movie very high up in my list. It's just a movie that it excels in so many ways. It's just a villain lets me down. It's a Marvel problem. Don't get me wrong.
For other random cameos, before we move on to talking more about the movie in its entirety, the canine actor Fred playing Cosmo, the space dog, in this movie. Ralph Ineson, which is ironic considering he's now been cast as Galactus in the Fantastic Four movie, has a brief role as a Ravager pilot. Speaking of the Ravagers, we can't forget Tyler Bates is in this movie, as is Rob Zombie.
Tyler Bates he was a child. The WWE wrestler Tyler Bates.
Tyler Bates is a Ravager pilot in this movie from Halloween 2, and the John Wick franchise. Yes.
Okay, I thought you meant Tyler Bates, the pro wrestler.
No, Tyler Bates, the actor.
I have never heard of this other Tyler Bate. I only know of Tyler Bate, or like our Tyler Bate.
Much of his work is in the action and horror film genres, including Dawn of the Dead, 300, Sucker Punch, Halloween 1 and 2, the John Wick franchise. He is a musician, producer, composer. Obviously, we talked about it. Seth Green and Lloyd Kaufman both play inmates in this movie.
No, Seth Green plays Howard the Duck.
I said Lloyd Kaufman and Nathan Fillion.
I thought you said Seth. You said Seth Green.
Did I say Seth Green? I was reading Seth Green and meant to read Nathan Fillion because his name's right above him on the list. Of course, Seth Green does play in this movie as Howard the Duck. Or, as the Wikipedia entry in the post-credit scene calls him, an anthropomorphic duck.
A what?
Anthropomorphic. I don't know how to say that word.
Anthropomorphic.
That's the one. It's a big word. I'm American. We don't use those big words.
I'm just screwing with you. I had to relook at it to make sure I could say it right.
Like, before I screw with him too much about saying this, can I pronounce it? I was like,
I had to look at him like yeah. Anthropomorphic or whatever the fuck you said. I love it. Oh, I need to clip that.
Yeah, I know. As obvious, this movie starts in 1988. Meredith Quill dying in her bed from cancer given to her by Ego the Living Planet, though we don't know that at this point.
We don't know that yet. Spoilers.
Peter Quill is then abducted by the Ravagers. We then rejoin the story in 2014 on the planet Morag, where we have the greatest title scene in Marvel. Him doing the dance. Oh my god.
Come and get your love.
By the way, is there a better soundtrack for a movie ever than Guardians of the Galaxy? In the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
No, because Guardians 2's soundtrack is good, just not as good.
Yeah.
Guardians 3's soundtrack, again, it's really good, just comes up just short to Guardians. Yeah. And in every other movie, the soundtracks are fine. Just this movie's all about its music.
Yep. And I like how James Gunn would bring the music to set and play it on set to explain what's going on camera. And I think that's something that people forget when it comes to this movie and everything that happens here. Of course, then Peter Quill finds the mysterious orb and tries to steal it. But of course, the Kree renegade Korath comes to stop him, played by Jonathan Hanju. And
yeah, he's good.
And he asks him, "Who are you?" And he goes, "I'm Peter Quill. But you might know me by another name. Star-Lord." Who?
Star-Lord, man.
So good.
And dude, we'll talk about it in a minute. It's one of my favorite lines is still referring to his name, but it's a couple scenes later.
Yeah. He gets off Morag. He gets a call from Yondu. Yondu wants the orb, and he's like, "Sorry, I'm going to go ahead and sell it on my own. We're Ravagers. We have rules." Yeah, and that rule is we steal from everybody.
It's true. Including other Ravagers, I guess.
And Yondu continues to say throughout this thing, "They wanted to eat you, boy, but I stopped you." And there's a great line later on in the movie where he goes, "Stopping somebody from eating somebody is the minimum thing that you can do."
It's like, that's not something that's not supposed to happen. No, it's not something I should be thanking you for. It's hilarious.
Yeah. But of course, Quill now gets to Xandar to go ahead and see the Broker.
Random character number 2.
Yeah, mysterious character number 2, the Broker. But of course, this is where we get the introduction of Rocket and Groot. As Rocket and
Gamora. And Gamora first.
Well, yeah, we get the scene with Thanos and Gamora. And
no, I'm just talking about when she runs into him outside of the place.
Oh, that doesn't happen. That happens after we have what we talked about earlier with where he's arguing with Thanos and the other, and he kills the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get to Xandar. Rocket is looking at all the different people, and he sees Stan Lee, and he calls him a Class 1 prevert, which is Marvel's way of getting around the word pervert.
Oh, I love Stan.
Oh, I miss Stan. I love that he's willing to do anything in these movies. He didn't care. He's like, "I need a cameo," and they're like, "Do you have anything specific?" And he's like, "Nope, whatever you think fits works."
The messed up part is the best cameo he ever did was not in a Marvel movie, and it's in
the Deadpool movie.
No, it's Mallrats.
No, it's the Deadpool movie.
It's the Walter soliloquy in Mallrats. Come on.
I don't care if this is soliloquy in Mallrats. By the way, that is referenced in the MCU.
Yeah, when he's sitting there with the Mallrats script on the bus.
Captain Marvel, yeah.
Even though it's a year after, technically takes place after the movie came out. Technically,
it was the last cameo. But yes, they get arrested for trying to sell the orb and everybody trying to steal the orb from one another.
Oh, dude, my favorite line when they get arrested. He's like, John C. Reilly, hey, it's Star Prince.
Mm-hmm.
It's Star Lord. I just love that exchange, him calling him Star Prince. I'm just like laughing. This guy's got a code name. Oh my god.
John C. Reilly has some zingers in this movie. The one thing I dislike about this movie, and it's a quibble. If you go back and look at the trailers for this movie, half of the trailers for this movie ended up on the cutting room floor. There's a scene where Gamora is showering that's not anywhere in any of the first movie, but it's in the previews. When they're in the prison, there's a shower scene with Gamora where they're back so that she's back facing to the camera and her front's facing away from you, and you can't see it, and it's nowhere in the movie. But it's in the original trailer.
Doesn't need to be in the movie.
It doesn't, but Marvel has been picked apart for for destroying their trailers with things that don't appear in movies, and this is the one that always escapes it. Also, almost the entire first trailer is them introducing the characters in the lineup that never appears in the movie, where they explain who each character is and they name them and they tell you about them.
Yeah, they have a version of it though in the movie.
The audio from that scene is in the movie. The visuals of that scene appear nowhere.
Yeah.
Of course, Rocket breaks them out of the kiln.
Oh my god! Well, first off, they meet Drax the Destroyer in the kiln because he wants to kill Gamora, and Star-Lord, genius. This is where we learn that he does not understand like metaphors and sarcasm and shit. Everything goes over his head. No,
they don't go over his head. He's fast. He will catch them.
Dude, and he's like, and he does like Star-Lord does this throat slit spot. And he's like, he's like, you heard of that? And he's like, yeah. And the other guy's like, yeah. And he goes, no, because he's scared. He's more scared of Drax.
Yeah, no, it's great. There's so much. The prison guard listening to Peter Quill's tape deck.
Oh, and he has to go get it back, and he's has to fight him at one point. Oh,
yeah,
him stealing the guy, making a deal to buy the guy's leg because Rocket was screwing with him.
Yeah,
genius, just genius. This movie's genius when you're not dealing with the villain. Oh, so good.
Oh my god! Sorry, I'm in the back end of one of the Twitch things, and something's desperately wrong.
What's wrong?
We're apparently running 22 minutes of ads per hour.
Oh, that is way too much.
Yeah, you think? Andre, why don't you go ahead and talk to us about the first time we meet the Collector?
Yeah, so they go to nowhere, which is a giant head of a Celestial, which we would then learn about more in the Eternals. It's a Celestial's head, is what it is. They communion there, and they go to meet him, and he explains what is inside the orb, and it is the Power Stone. I think the first time we really get an explanation. Well, I guess we learned about the dark matter, or the ooze, right? The reality stone, but it wasn't really explained as an Infinity Stone at that point. Am I right? Am I wrong?
It has the Infinity Stone inside the orb.
No, but I'm saying like we learned about the reality stone in Ragnar or in Ragnarok.
We have
Dark
not
World.
learned yet about Infinity Stones per
So, yeah,
se.
this is the first time the Infinity Stone word has been uttered.
It's the second time, and we hear the word uttered in the post-credit scene of Thor 2, where he goes to the collector with the ether and he says it's not worth having. It's not safe to have 2 Infinity Stones in the same place.
Yeah,
but that's not canon because it's a post-credit scene.
yeah.
So
but I'm
this
saying
is the first time we're seeing a stone.
Yeah, and he has an explanation about the stones. Gives a little background on the 6 stones, so we kind of understand what is what we're going to be fighting towards in the next few years of Marvel. And yeah, and again, the little pink girl decides to touch the Power Stone, and everything goes kablooey.
Oh boy, does it go kablooey!
Yeah, and then it cuts back to outside, and Ronan the Accuser shows up because Drax, the dumbass, called him because he wants to fight him, and he gets his ass kicked.
Does indeed, and he gets
Yeah.
dumped. And the worst part is he has this vendetta. He's been searching for Ronan for all these years, and Ronan goes, "I don't even know who you are, and after I kill you, I won't even remember you existed."
Yeah, it's so just like a big old fuck you.
But our good friend Noel Taken has a good question. What had the power to kill a Celestial?
The Eternals!
It's going to be an interesting question as to what killed... It's not the Eternals, first and foremost.
I know, it's just a joke because of the freaking Eternals movie. They technically killed the Celestial.
there is an answer to what can kill a Celestial. Beyond the Eternals, which did kill a Celestial being born. But if you read the comics, there's technically a power level above the Celestials. The Celestials are what, 3rd, I believe, on the hierarchy of the Marvel gods? I believe the gods above all are next, and then the Living Tribunal is above everything, correct?
Something like that. I can't remember.
It might be reversed order, but I believe that those are the 2 things that are above the Eternals, above the Celestials. Oh, Noel says he thinks he knows. Well, Noel, feel free to let us know what you think, because remember, Thanos is part Celestial, because him and his brother both are part Celestial.
Well, is he though? In the Marvel universe, in the MCU, is he though? Like,
sort of. He was. Him and his brother were both part Celestial.
So he's half. So he's half robot. Is that what you're saying? Because
Ego's a Celestial. Like, if we're gonna go down this road, Ego's a Celestial.
Ego is a Celestial. But in this universe, in my personal opinion, how is Thanos half robot?
They don't.
That's the problem. That is my biggest issue with the Eternals. Is that we'll talk about? There's a lot of movies.
We'll talk about that when we get to the Eternals. We have a long way to go before we get there.
That movie. I don't hate it as much as other movies, but it's a very well made movie. Just there's a lot of problems.
It's an incredibly beautiful movie. I will wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
So obviously now these people are trying to run away with this, but unfortunately, after trying to get away from Ronan, they now have to deal with Yondu as well.
This is the scene where they end up in space or whatever, and then he takes the helmet off and gives it to Gamora so she doesn't die, and then they do get it, and then Yondu gets him into the ship though, and he's saved, and nobody understands how he's still alive, but it's the ego of it all.
And then Drax tries to blow up the Ravager ship.
He goes to do it, and he's just like, "Dude, I'm in here." Like, dude, you don't give them enough time. You're not giving them enough time to surrender.
How can you save me if you blow up the ship?
So good, so good.
And then, of course, we have the scene where they're trying to figure out how to go ahead and stop. Because now they've decided that they're going to stop Ronan, who now has the Power Stone.
Mm-hmm.
And they decide they're going to have to stop him. So Peter Quill comes up with a plan. Well, he comes up with part of a plan. 12% of a plan, to be precise.
That's not. It didn't Rocket just let me. That's barely anything, and he's just unloading on him for only having 12% of a plan. And I'm just laughing so hard throughout this. Oh,
it's so good.
Oh,
but
just genius. Just genius.
They contact Xandar, and the message is delivered by John C. Reilly, where he's like, "Well, we got a message from Star-Lord," and they're like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah." He says something bad's coming, and he goes, "I'm a dick, but I'm not 100% a dick." And Glenn Close asked him, "Was like, do you believe that?" He's like, "Well, I don't believe anybody's 100% a dick." I go, "I raise you, Christopher Jericho. 100% a dick."
I thought you were saying not 100% a dick.
No. He's 100% a dick.
Yeah, I agree.
And of course, this is where we get the scene where we're now going to break our way onto Ronan's Dark Aster ship by blowing a hole in the side of it. And that's...
I think the whole of you having all this Indarian or the Nova Corps, creating that super giant shield between all their ships and having to hold them back, and then it starts to break apart, and then them having to blow the hole in, then Rocket just rams his ship through the hole. I think that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, this is the best third act we've seen in a Marvel movie since Avengers.
No.
Yes.
Winter Soldier has a great third act.
Well, like I said what I said. This is the best third act.
In this idiot's opinion, it's the best third act since Avengers, but it's the best third act since the movie we just reviewed.
Anyways, we get to the third act. They're on the ship. They're fighting their way there. We get the "We Are Groot" moment where the ship's about to blow up and they can't get away. So Groot protects them all in the little bubble, and he says, "We are Groot."
Yeah.
And then he gets
they were inside of Groot.
They were inside of Groot.
Inside of Groot. Inside of Groot.
Yes, we're speedrunning this movie because we've gotten comments that we take a bit too long on the recap section of these movies sometimes. This is by far one of the best beginning to end movies in the MCU.
And there's going to be a couple movies where we are just shitting all over it the entire time, so don't worry.
So get ready for that. I mean, there's a ways before we get there, but
no, Phase 3. I got one. The sequel to this.
We got one in Phase 3, but we don't have a ton in Phase 3.
Yeah, the sequel to this goddamn movie.
Like I said, we don't have a ton. Anyways, we go ahead and we get the dance off to save the planet.
Save the universe, really. If you really think about it, it's to save the universe.
Noel Taken is correct. That's how you know a movie is good. I agree. But me and Andre have found that we don't like sitting here for an hour and a half recapping every bit of the movie. It's also why we're not using video for this one. We're trying to see if this does poorly compared to the others. Because if this does worse than the others, we will go back to doing hour and a half reviews with video. We'll take our time. We'll go through. We will.
I don't agree to that. I don't consent.
It's fine. You can consent all you want. And then they all join hands as Peter takes the Power Stone in his hand so they can use the power of the Power Stone to defeat Ronan.
The power of friendship. And this is again why I hate Ronan. He gets beat by the power of friendship.
I agree, but that's not a Ronan problem. That's a script problem.
But even in every scene he's in, it's just again, script and actor both fail at this role, in my opinion.
And then we get to the end where Yondu comes to collect. Quill promised him that he'd give him the Power Stone after everything was said and done. So Quill gives him the Power Stone. However, it's not the Power Stone. Inside, as we see later on in the movie,
it's Troll Doll.
It's just a troll doll, which is great.
Which becomes a thing for Yondu.
Yeah. Well, he's already had a bunch of these, but that's another one that he has.
Yeah, this is another one added to the collection. And he probably finds it humorous because of the collection he already is massed with because of Quill.
Exactly. Because of Quill and how well Quill knows him, he lets it slide. Rest of the crew's not happy, but Yondu lets it slide. Xandar takes over for the Power Stone to keep it safe on Xandar. We'll see how long that lasts. And all
a few years
until Thanos comes a calling.
Like 5 years.
They have all their criminal records expunged. They're now free to patrol the galaxy as they see fit. And Quill learns a very powerful secret. Quill, you're only part human.
They say Terran.
Yes, you're only part. I hate that. I fucking hate that word in this movie.
But
oh
what?
My God.
It doesn't. No, because because to the rest of the galaxy, Earth is known as Terra. We're not. It's not Earth to the rest of the galaxy. So the people that exist on the Earth are Terrans. It makes sense.
It doesn't make it any more better when I hear the word. I don't like the word Terra.
So you never liked the Terrans in space in Warhammer or anything like that? No, okay.
I didn't play Warhammer. I did not grow up playing Warhammer.
Sad.
His father is part of an ancient unknown species. They don't know exactly what he is, but they know that he's part something, and it's something special. We'll find out later. As we've already said, it's part celestial.
Yeah. There's a little bit of ego in him.
And of course, Quill now at the very end of this movie opens the final gift that his mother ever gave him on her deathbed, a cassette tape.
The Awesome Mix.
Favorite songs. The Awesome Mix, Volume 2. And then we see, as the credits roll, baby Groot. Groot, a little stick portion of Groot planted in the dirt that starts growing and starts dancing while Drax isn't looking throughout the entire credits. It's fantastic. I love it. And then we get to our mid-credits / post-credit scene. Tanelier Tavan, sitting in the mess he's been left with a canine cosmonaut named Cosmo and an anthropomorphic duck.
Anthropomorphic. Thank you.
Duck named Howard the Duck, which, for those of you that don't know, was a movie in the 80s, which is why it's part of the Guardians thing, is because the Guardians, with Quill being a child of the 80s. Yeah. And it is a lesser-known Marvel property. There are comic books with Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck at one point holds the Infinity Gauntlet.
Howard the Duck comics are actually entertaining.
Yeah.
Unlike his movie in the 80s. Oh,
the movie's so awful. Tia Leone makes out with a CGI duck.
Oh, so bad.
It's a weird movie. But Tanelier Tavan sits there in his destroyed archive with those two. And that's how the movie ends. And it's great. And I love it. But Andre, it's time for guessing. What was with a $232 million budget, what was the box office for Guardians of the
domestic or worldwide?
Let me pull up the numbers. Why don't you give me a guess for both?
Ooh, I'm gonna say I think it make can't remember what Winter Soldier made, but I'm gonna say like 800 million
Worldwide,
Yeah, worldwide.
773,350,376. Not bad. Pretty close.
Okay.
It did 440 million worldwide and 330 million domestically.
Cool.
Not bad.
Yeah.
On its opening weekend, it did. Oh, it's not giving me the opening weekend numbers. Hold on. I'm sorry. With a budget of 170 million, its domestic opening was $94 million.
Pretty good.
I mean, at the time in 2014, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the interesting thing is that this movie stayed in theaters. It opening weekend was August 1st through the 3rd, apparently, according to the domestic numbers. And it stays in
Opened on the 21st of July.
It released on the 21st of July. Yes, there was a release date. However, I'm looking at I'm sorry. It is August 1st. Wikipedia was wrong. According to Box Office Mojo, it releases on August 1st. Opening weekend is August 1 through 3.
What? Oh, okay. There's a weird 21st release in Dolby theaters. Okay.
Okay.
And then August 1st officially in the United States. It's a weird freaking thing.
Yeah,
right.
But you want to know what's interesting about this, though? This movie had a run period of August 1st to January 16th through the 19th. It didn't leave theaters until mid-January.
But again, you got to remember, this is also Netflix is only just getting on its feet at this point in the world. Movies sat in theaters a lot longer than before, dude. There'd be times where we wouldn't get movies for 6 months on DVD.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it was in theaters until January of 2015.
So like 5 months.
Especially for an unknown property, that is an insane run for them. It's quality. Yeah. They didn't drop below 200 theaters until December. At that point, they were making in the hundreds of thousands.
At that point, they're in probably like dollar theaters by that point. Like these little cheap theaters that used to exist.
Yeah. I still have some. But
yeah, they're not really around. At least I'm not aware of any in my area of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. If anybody knows, tell me, please.
With re-releases, it ran for 518 days over 74 weeks.
It's pretty good.
However, Andre, we now move to Rotten Tomatoes.
Gross. I don't like
Rotten Tomatoes. Tomato meter. Critics score of 339 reviews of Guardians of the Galaxy. What do the critics think?
They're assholes, but I don't see
They are indeed assholes who hate fun.
93.
92. Very good job.
Pretty good.
250,000 plus verified audience ratings for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. This number may surprise you.
You're saying it's going to surprise me?
It might.
In what way? In a good way or a bad way?
If I were to have given it a number, I'm surprised at the number that it is. Having looked at it, I was surprised when I saw it.
Like, is it really bad?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, it's not really bad. But
it's lower than
really,
I would have thought.
It's not really good though. Like it's not. It's the way you're inflicting. It feels like it's in the 70s.
No. I'm just surprised.
It's not going to be. So if you're surprised, not in like 95 range. 91?
92.
What the
It's
fuck?
the same as the critics. That's a surprising number to me. I'm surprised that it's the same as the critics. Noel took a shot at there at 78. Like I said, I wasn't trying to throw people off with the fact that it's a surprising score. I'm surprised it's on par with the critic score, considering there are so many more reviews that it sits at the same level. Because normally the audience either overvalues it and it's higher than the critics, or it falls a couple points lower sometimes. I'm surprised with 250,000 reviews that it sits at the same 92%.
That's surprising.
Like I said, it's surprising. It's not necessarily bad. It's just surprising.
The way you were inflecting, I'm thinking, did the fans tank this on Rotten Tomatoes? Like, was there hate for this movie at some point? Like, that's what I was trying to figure out.
It's no if sitting at 49% on Rotten Tomatoes.
You mean it?
If. The Imaginary Friend movie with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, I want to see that.
Well, you should have plenty of opportunity considering it's sitting at 49%. Inside Out, by the way, which our man Bobby Munson did a review of, sitting at 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a perfectly good score. Oh wait, that's the first movie. I'm sorry. What's number 2 sitting at? Rotten Tomatoes 2. Really? You don't have a Rotten Tomatoes score for the second one?
Not out yet. Is it?
It is. I saw it on Father's Day.
Oh, I didn't know it was out yet.
Yep. Inside Out 2. Here we go. 90% on Rotten Tomatoes with a 96% audience score. That makes sense.
Not bad.
Critics hate fun.
It's true.
All right, Andre. We've had a lot of fun. We've hopefully saved people from seeing way too many ads during the middle of this show. Andre, what do you got coming up with you and Melbo?
Friday, you can catch me right here on the OLE talking Japanese wrestling in all of our updates on the JWU. Saturday, you can find me with hopefully some other people doing a Forbidden Door preview show. Hopefully jump in with whoever's hosting the Sunday review show when I get home. And then me and Mel Ball will have some Stardom coverage coming out next week. We're just she's been having a very busy week, so we've been having a hard time trying to pin down getting last weekend's Stardom, the conversion show, reviewed. So that'll come out next week, along with probably next Friday have some chat about the Forbidden Door with the New Japan of it all, talking about that. So Japanese wrestling update will begin again out the following week. This Friday will be a pre-recorded show because I will be at Love Wrestling on Friday and she'll be at RCW, and then we have a Chop Talk coming out next week. Lots more content, lots of stuff coming out. We have some Dream Review Marigold to talk about. So a little bit more to talk about there coming out next week. Lots of stuff coming out.
And of course, you can find all of this in audio form in its entirety on Sunday night's mainevent.com and at patreon.com/SNME radio, where you can not only find Andre and Melbo Wrestling Talk in its entirety, but you can also find some other great stuff on there as well.
And if you go to choptees.com to the SNME radio page, if you want to support them over there, buy a t-shirt, buy a hat. I gotta throw that in now.
You can also find me on Twitter at edfries12584. You can find me on the Twitch at twitch.tv/edfries2002. I will be talking this Friday. I will be at Wrestling too. The three of us will all be live at Wrestling in different areas. I will be at Chaotic Wrestling here in Lowell, as our main event is going to be a 3 stages of hell between JT Dunn and the champion, the Dream Crusher, Danny Miles, as they compete over the Chaotic Heavyweight Championship. And JT Dunn goes for his 4th reign as Chaotic Champion, which would make him the winningest champion in Chaotic history if you were to pull that off. Not to mention, we'll have the Chaotic Countdown match, which is a 30-man over-the-top rope battle royal. 30-person over-the-top rope battle royal, amongst other great matches. That'll be a fun show that I can't wait to be a part of. And then, obviously, next Tuesday I'll be with my lovely friend Astrid, Monday and Tuesday, as we're doing a talking takeover on Monday. On Tuesday, we are doing taking over. We talk all things NXT, and the week don't stop there. Next Friday, we don't know when the preview show will be coming out, but we have a guest who is 90% confirmed for our preview show, and we have Joe Carney for the post show from the Angle podcast. He'll be joining us for our post show Sunday night as we talk all things, and Andre will make a special appearance to talk about Lola Vice as she loses her championship opportunity.
No, she's about to become champion. Lola Vice, she's awesome.
Lose the opportunity. Please make sure that you go ahead and check out all the wonderful Ole socials at all these fine places. We'll be back in 2 weeks on a Wednesday night as we are going to be talking all things. What is the next movie? I don't remember.
Is it Avengers?
No, I can't. It's not that, is it?
I think so.
MCU in order. MCU in release order.
I think it might be.
Is it really the Avengers Part 2?
Yeah, it's Avengers Age of Ultron.
Wow, that stuck up on me.
I was thinking we do it next.
Far to phase 2. Shit. All right.
Man. Phase 2, the first two phases are very small. It's then when we get to phase 3 where everything kind of goes kablooey, and we have like 18.
Remember how we talked about how we're going to have a little bit of time in between us talking trash about movies? Oh, Age of Ultron's here.
I enjoyed this movie. There's some issues.
Okay. So I thought you were going to hate it because I thoroughly enjoy Age of Ultron. I think there's a lot to like in this movie.
No, I have issues with this movie. Don't get me wrong.
There's lots of issues to be had.
But I still quite enjoy the movie.
I can watch Age of Ultron and have a good time.
Yeah. Then I'll admit, I can have a good time watching pretty much any Marvel movie, except for The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, for the most part, I can enjoy most of these. Oh my God, I forgot. This is a Josh Whedon movie. Oh.
He did a good job with Avengers 1.
He did, and then he... Anyway.
He got reined in way more. I don't know.
He sure as hell got reined in, I'll tell you that. All right. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Have a good night. Goodbye, everybody.